brand new series introducing you to Australia's professional beauty industry leaders. I am your host, Kathleen Klassman, and in this ongoing interview series, I'll be uncovering what it takes to become an industry leader by asking our lovely guests questions relating to their chosen career and their path to their individual success. And in today's episode, I'm very, very humbled, grateful, and super excited to introduce you to Elle Wilson. Now, if you haven't heard of Elle Wilson already, then, you're going to learn so much today. But essentially, I couldn't cover everything she's achieved in this one little script. So we'll uncover some more. But she is the founder and director of TRUBROW, an international brow training organization and beauty brand. Got her TRUBROW here, and I'm wearing it on my eyebrows today. Absolutely big fan. And Elle also teaches beauty therapists how to create the most beautiful and natural brow while also helping business owners to create extraordinary businesses that ultimately will change their lives. So among many of her achievements, Elle was also the winner of Educator of the Year with the prestigious ABIS in 2018. And she is also a #1 Amazon bestseller in both Australia and the USA for her life-changing and powerful book, The Power Shift. Big fan of this one. And she basically shares her story and offers a lot of words of wisdom. Elle is also a life and business mentor offering unique, heart-driven solutions for beauty therapists and beauty business owners. And speaking from experience, just being around Elle will change your life. I couldn't talk more highly of you, Elle. So very excited to have her on. And before I bring Elle into the chat, I just want to mention to you all, if you hear any audio issues or anything at all, please let us know and ask your questions in the comment box below, and we'll try to get to them at the end. But without further ado, let's bring Elle into the interview. Let's bring her in. So excited. Hello, Elle.
Hi, Kathleen. Oh, wow, what a beautiful introduction. I think I should just have recorded that and just, put it everywhere all the time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. It's all from the heart. And I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here. So, yeah, really excited. Let's get straight into it, Elle. And I just wanted to ask you this first question, which is really, what is your #1 favorite thing about the beauty industry?
Wow.
So much.
Some pretty interesting questions.
Yes.
I think the #1 thing would be for me, women. Not to say that there are not men in the industry. I don't want to discriminate like that. But for me, women are, there's something so beautiful about the feminine. And I think it's the beauty industry, we tap into that all the time. We're touching women, we're connecting, we're communicating with them, we're supporting them. A lot of the time we don't support ourselves as well as we support others, and we've got to learn that in this industry. But I think for me it's the feminine, and it's the power that this industry has to impact the feminine and to come from the feminine in a way that could be, if beauty professionals kind of really knew the power of what they were doing, take the world. I'm actually going to go that far into next level. There's so much power in this industry. It's amazing because we're tapping on core issues. We're tapping on a woman's appearance, her confidence, her inner state of being, how she is in the world because of how we're supporting her externally. And not to say that the external is more important than the internal, but both of them matter. So it's that beautiful, it's just beautiful. To me, I feel so honored to have just fallen into this industry. I never would have imagined it would have happened.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Elle. And I have to admit, I found your new podcast last night, and I listened to all of your episodes just on repeat. And I was so lucky to actually hear your story. Toby asked you in one of the podcast episodes, what brought you to be in the industry? And I would be asking a similar question, but I think it's, you're so right in saying it is about the women and the lives that you can change. And it's just so much more, so deep. So I'm really happy to hear your answer. And let's just move on to the next question, which kind of encompasses all of that. And it's just tell us the story of how you became to be the person you are today. I mean, you're an educator, you're a director of a company, you're an author, so much, a business mentor, a life mentor. But yeah, tell us the story, Elle. We all want to hear it.
Thank you. I think that it's kind of interesting, isn't it? Where do I begin with that? I think that, life is just extraordinary, and being here on this planet is really something. When we start to, in hindsight, when we look back, we start to join all the dots. Steve Jobs said that, he said you never really know why things are occurring in your life until you look back and all the dots sort of join up. It's quite fascinating. Yes. And so for me, I think the qualities that I had, the beauty industry really gave me space to express them. And again, it comes back to the feminine. I had a lot of learning to do. Because I find that because as women, we've really over the centuries we've suffered a lot. We've gone through so much, and we're coming through that tunnel. At the end of the tunnel is the light, and we are the light, right? But as I first started in the industry, what was going on for me was that I was very masculine in the way that I was in the world, even in my relationship, even in my business. And so I guess my story is that the beauty industry really gave me an opportunity to have to confront and face all of the parts of me that I needed to re-look at and examine, so that I could become a happy, fulfilled, soulful human being. Because you see, for me, what I've realized is successful entrepreneurs, anyone in business, the reality of it is, if you're not really truly fulfilled deep within, if you're not every single day drawing on that deeper space of joy and happiness and extending it out into the world, well, what could your why be? If that's missing, you haven't got anything. It doesn't matter how much money's in the bank. It doesn't matter how much better you are than other people in your own mind. None of it matters. So for me, I had to actually really, I use the industry, or life for me, my life used the beauty industry in a way to unfold me. I began to unfold into someone that I sort of see myself, and by no means do I think of myself like being up on some sort of mountain or anything looking down. I'm right in confronting all of everything that comes up. So my story is that I guess I fell into this industry, and I had an opportunity to change, transform as I was moving through it, and seeing the parts of myself I didn't really want to see. But you know what? There's something about that, because it's kind of like you take it lightly and you move on and you grow and you transform. And so I guess, for me, it was just bringing honesty into things all the time, being really honest with myself, even when it didn't feel good, so everything was about that. And, I hit some massive walls, Kathleen, big walls, I wasn't easy as a person, because I'd had such a challenging childhood. So for me, I had to hit walls. I don't believe everyone needs to hit those kinds of walls. I think that they need to find the people that can support them to sort of duck. I've learned to duck a lot. I know how to duck really well now. It's coming and I'm going, oh, okay, just a little bit.
Done this before.
I can see that. So I think that it was just continual transformation, and internally, I think that the internal is far more important than the external. And the more we focus on the external, thinking we're doing something amazing, or it'll always come back. You will always, especially now, women are really going to have to face that. They cannot ignore what's going on the inside. I couldn't ignore it. Changed me, changed my life, changed my relationships, continues to change my relationships. Sometimes I'm still so confronted. Like, I work with Toby. We work together. We're together 24 hours a day. It can be the most confronting relationship because it's the most intimate, but it also is the one that ignites me the most. So, when I'm misaligned in that, when I'm not lined up with my values, my deepest love inside of me, that relationship, whoa, you could go either way. It's like that all the time with anything, your business, your parenting. So for me, it's kind of really going in and taking a look at, with real honesty, where am I coming from? What do I really want right now? What do I actually want? Sometimes I realize I want to be right. I've noticed that in my story. Like, my story is like, I want to be right. And I just think, well, stuff it. Yeah, I want to be right. And I suffer. I go, oh, that hurts. So it doesn't last very long. But, I guess my story's been about transformation. Yes, winning the ABIA award, Educator of the Year, that was like astonishing for me because it was just, it meant so much. And then on the other hand, I know it's not about awards for me. It's not about that. If that happens, and well, that's just wonderful, but it doesn't even have to happen. There's so many more meaningful and important things in our world and in our life that we need to have hold us rather than, what's happening on the outside. But awards are nice. That was beautiful. I love that the industry acknowledged the work that I had done. It felt sweet and lovely. And would I do it again? Probably not. I felt like once was wonderful. My book, wow, how did I write the book? Well, I did a lot of workshops. I did a lot of work, a lot of spiritual counseling work with women in my 30s, where I supported them in, going through some of the most traumatic times of their lives. People with anorexia, bulimia. So I've done a lot of different things in the midst of being in the industry, and I think the book just wrote itself. Really, I had no real choice. It had to be written, and I wrote it, and I sort of just let it just go. I thought, let that land wherever it lands. I haven't put a lot of effort into pushing it out there, even though it was a best-selling in the US and in Australia, which is, again, so sweet. But so many of those things just don't have anything to do with me. I don't know how else to explain it. I just like the part. One of my greatest loves, of course, is TRUBROW, which I developed 17 years ago. And for me, TRUBROW, I have to admit, like, where it came from, we're going to talk about this soon, the inner creativity, the higher intelligence, where it came from inside of me was like, I had access to those natural abilities. I'm not talking about them as superpowers, but they're natural powers that we have, right? We all have them. I had access to them because of all of the undoing that I did inside of myself. So TRUBROW for me came from that space, and I love it. I love what it offers, not only the beauty professional, but I love what it offers women at the end of the line. Like, their natural brow can be, there's hope. And TRUBROW for me, and the lives it's changed, the businesses it's grown, it's just been phenomenal. And there's so many exciting things coming up with that too, which...
Yes.
But anyway,
definitely.
So I don't know what else is in my beautiful children. My story is that I was a single mum for so long, and how would you ever think a single mum could have so many things in her life, or even as a single parent, she's developing like, an original course, first person in the world to do it. It's kind of like mind blowing, isn't it? So much of it's got to do with transformation, and you're in a space. You can do anything when you work from there first. It really is like that. My children are now, almost, my son's going to be 29, my daughter's 27. That's a shock. That's kind of like, what, is that real? Who's the person that is old enough to have children that old? Myself like that. I'm just like, wow. But, I just think that it hasn't always been easy. It's one of the things I wanted to say to everyone. People look at other people and they think, oh, wow, look what she's doing. And it's not meant to be easy. It's not about hard or easy. It's about you in the midst of it. Who are you being right in the center of it, And So I guess it's a story, and it just keeps rolling on, doesn't it?
It does. And I love how you've just encompassed a lot of parts of your story, Elle. It's really beautiful. And for all the beauty therapists out there, you've been in the industry for some time, and it's really about encompassing everything. You've encompassed a lot of things, but you're right. There's so much work that had to be done. And what I love about what you teach and what you share, we have the beauty industry, the brows, the businesses, all of these tactics and those superficial things that we're all focused on, but it's all about coming back to here. And I'm still really trying to learn what you teach, because I think it's a whole life journey and a life lesson of transformations, like you said. But I feel like when I hear your story, it all comes back to that inner work. And I think that is just such a valuable thing to pass on to other beauty therapists. And like when you said about acknowledging the feminine, there's so much power in the feminine, and we have such an incredible opportunity to change lives for women all around us. So, I love your story.
I just want to add to that, if I can, Kathleen.
Yes, please,
one of the things that I've been coming into is in my own power too, and how I want to move it in the world. What is it that I want to do? That's always developing. This year for me was like a year of huge development. It's almost like one of the biggest years of development in my life, and it still hasn't ended yet. So it's on fast pace now, because it's got to get to where it needs to go before December 31st. One of the things I really want to say about the feminine and women, I'm not into the goddess idea. I'm not into crystals. I'm sorry, I have to tell you. I used to be, but I don't want to sidetrack women. I don't want to sidetrack people into aura sprays. I don't want to sidetrack them into crystals. I don't want to sidetrack them into archangels and angel cards. And you might go, but Elle, why are you saying that? I don't want to sidetrack you. I want to take you directly to where your power exists and where it all lives, because the reality of it is that there is so much out there that is ready to distract us. Let's follow the moon. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's externalize everything. Let's put a crystal there because a crystal is going to do something. Well, you are the most powerful force in the universe, right? Yes. And none of those things might be sweet, and they might be lovely, and they might create an ambience for you, but the power, you've got to bring it right back. It's just so important. And what I really love is that, I get the opportunity now to be free, to be able to express to women that some people will not like it, and it's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Some people are just going to say, hallelujah, thank goodness, please tell me, because I'm just so bursting out of my skin and I'm just so ready. And I think that's so important. Like, we have these quotes on Instagram, like, don't let anyone dull your sparkle. That's one of my favorite, right? How can anyone dull your sparkle? It's not possible. It's just not. That literally is saying that someone else has power over you. And it's kind of like, for me, I just kind of think, women have suffered so much historically. We're coming to a stage where we've had to go through a masculine stage to almost like, almost like an explosion of power inside of us, and we've kind of gone all the way to the other side,
the extreme.
We've polarized ourselves and lost our softness, our femininity, our flow, our delicateness, and it's kind of like coming back to that. And the other thing is leaving our tragedy behind. We don't need our tragedy to be whole. It's kind of like the tragedy, the emotion that tragedy just keeps, the emotions it keeps pouring into us, making us unwell, disrupting our hormones. You can't do business when you're not well. You are the greatest asset in your business. Your business does not exist without, not a spreadsheet. Yeah. Not your business. It doesn't exist without you. You are a holistic, whole, real human being. You're a woman. And you need to learn. We need to learn as women how to hold it all. the mental health side of things, our heart, our soul. We need to understand how it works, the codes. We need to know physically how to be well, because we go through so much. And we don't need the tragedy, because we're coming through now. We're coming through into that next level where it's like, oh, I can make, oh,
Yeah.
I wanted to add that, but I took over, so I'm going to be quiet, and I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
Did I do that?
You know what?
I'm bursting out of my skin, right?
I love that. I was really excited for this interview because I know that when you kind of get going, there's just all this beautiful messages that come through. And I just want to acknowledge a lot of what you said there, to share this with other beauty therapists, because you know, this does seem like really deep work, what you're talking about here, but it's the fundamentals for our industry. And, you know, we have such a high rate of beauty therapists being injured and leaving the industry. You know, just business in itself, a lot of businesses, it's hard to sustain and be unique and different. But if you are focusing on the inner work that you talk about, Elle, it's such a powerful message for beauty therapists.
I think it's actually, you know, we think it's hard, but in fact, what we do when we leave it out is so hard.
Yeah.
You don't realize that it's harder to leave it out because you feel disconnected from what's deeper inside of you. So in fact, it's the opposite. You know, it's easier. Your life flows. You actually have your power back. You take it back. You say, I'm going to take back my power. And you know how big I am on not talking about mindset. Like, mindset to me is back here, and the feminine has moved all the way out to there. The feminine is so beyond mindset, and you know, it's extraordinary. And I love that. I love that we're just kind of leaving behind those women that are ready, leaving behind all these outdated old ideas that are at the back of us now. They're behind us. Like, we're stepping into something so new and so beautiful. So yeah, that's what I have to say about it. Anyway.
Yes. And yeah, I guess the whole point of this first question that I asked is really to just find out how you became to be all of your achievements. And I mean, you've definitely touched on a lot of it, and I feel like to encompass it, and please correct me if I'm wrong, all of these things, they didn't just happen because you planned them. They came to you through this personal work. Am I correct in saying that, Elle?
I think that the more that, you know, people talk about, you know, creating your destiny. Well, you know, you can't create your destiny from up here, because that's not possible. Good luck with that. You can try it, and then it'll take you maybe a few decades, and then you'll go, oh, what did Elle say? Maybe I should listen to it. You can't create your destiny from up here. There's no power up here. Your thoughts have no power, none whatsoever. You have all the power. And you might say, but my thoughts. No, you're not. Whoever told you that? That's the first belief you have to throw in the dumpster. You just go, you know what? I'm not my thoughts. And check in. Don't believe me. I want you to check in and just close your eyes and ask, am I my thoughts? And you will have a resonance. Something will come up and tell you, hey, you're not. So for me, you know, I had so much I went through as a child. I was this open, you know, little thing. I was navigating through this hugely difficult life. And it was great. You know, it's like if someone says, oh, you poor thing, I don't feel like a poor thing. I feel like how I dealt with it back then was my choice. And it was creating a particular kind of destiny. It was shutting me down. It was making me very masculine. I had anorexia and bulimia. I had the inner critic. Wow. I had an inner judge that, whoa. You know, anyone says to me, but I've got a big inner judge. Well, yeah, hang on. I think I might win on that side. If no one has bulimia or anorexia and doesn't have like a massive inner judge. So I created all of these things because of the way I was in my life. It's not wrong. It was just what I was doing. I mean, I can look back now, and from where I sit, I could probably go, it was a bit wrong, right? Because I'm not going to judge myself. But I say it's not wrong because, you know, sometimes if we think we've done the wrong thing, we can go down a path, and I don't want people doing that. I think you did the best, you did what you could, and the moment that bang like that, you just go, you know what, maybe I can do it differently. You know, maybe there is a possibility. So it's not hard. It's just, you know, it's and it's not about time either, you know, oh, I don't have time to do inner work, I'm so busy. Well, it's never about making time for anything. It's about making the decision. And I have to tell you, when you make that decision to surround yourself by not new age, I just got to tell you, it's, please don't go personal development new age, right?
Yeah.
And be discerning. Don't look at what's big, look at what's true. Like, look at what's really true, because there is a real short cut into your power and into being really real and accessing the flow. And there is a lot of, you know, it's like being in a labyrinth and being in a maze and hitting that wall going on, that's not it. Oh, that's not it. Why is that not working? And you just, and you know what, I've experienced so much of that, and I learned very, very quickly, pick the people that you're going to align yourself with very, very carefully. It's really, really important. So I don't even know what the question was you asked me. I don't even know how I have no idea, Kathleen, what's going on.
Lots of little golden nuggets. Yes. But yeah, lots of little golden nuggets. And I mean, who would have thought, you know, you started off in the beauty industry, it was 20 years old, I believe. And yeah, and just to now looking back at your life, and you're talking about just so many deep things, like who would have thought this is your path? The beauty industry is amazing. And yeah,
it really is. Again, I'm going to say it's like, look at women. Women connect. Women really make most of the decisions at home, right?
Yeah,
they make most of the parenting decisions, right? Because they're with their parents more than men are. Not always. I'm not general. I don't want to generalize, but I'm talking about the norm, right?
Yes.
And there are some men that stay home and spend a lot of time with their kids, but women are in everything. You know, a woman has the power to change her whole business just by changing herself inwardly. She has the power to have her husband, her partner, her man completely transform how he is with her because of what she does inside of herself. Now, you know, it's kind of like you can create the fairy tale by looking at you, you know. So then as we are doing that in our businesses, and we're energetically, we're moving in that way, we're touching other women. We, you know, think of, not even hairdressers have that intimate connection with women like women in the beauty industry do, Kathleen. You know, we do Brazilians on women. I mean, you know, we have women, they're taking all their clothes off for us, right? We're touching their skin, their face, their energy. We're like, all of it matters. And then they go home and they take what we offer them and they're giving it, extending it. So the beauty industry for me is such a powerhouse industry for women that want to really step up and seriously say, you know what, I want to play my part in changing the world. I want to play my part in that. I want to play my part in making a difference. We are not just beauty school, you know, graduates. Was that from Greece or something, you know, beauty school, you know that song? Oh,
that's the one. Yeah.
We're just not, you know, we've got to swipe that. Like I have people that come to us that do TRUBROW and they say, oh, I've only got a home salon. And I think, remove that word.
Yeah, only.
What does that mean? Home salon owners are some of the most extraordinary beauty professionals. What does it mean to just only have a home salon? I don't have to charge them because I've only got a home salon. It's kind of like, it's not about that, you know. We all have to come back to our worth and really believe in ourselves and extend that out. And, you know, we're doing it for women, and then in fact, we're doing it for our children. We're doing it for, you know, you can recycle as much as you want. You can be an activist and whatever, and you could be so angry that you're pouring so much anger into the world. And then, you know, it's kind of like, well, good luck with that. You know, like, you know, all these people that are activists and so much anger, like it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. We don't have to be angry to create change. We don't have to be emotional to create change. In fact, you know, historically, that's what people have been doing for centuries. And yes, we've had some change, but we're pretty much sitting in the same kind of situation we were, centuries ago as a society and as a culture. So we have to look at that belief too. Do we need our emotions and our anger to create change? I don't think we do. I just don't think we do.
Yeah. Wow, Elle. Very wise words coming from you. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Very careful next time I get up there with Toby. I have to remember this. Go, hey, Elle, you said.
Oh, it's beautiful. Now, I do have a few more questions. I'm just going to quickly look at the comments just here. Beautiful. And we've got hello and good morning, ladies. Good morning. And let's take a little detour. And I mean, I feel like you've definitely offered a lot of words of advice to our audience of beauty therapists and beauty business owners out there. But I'd like to ask you a more specific question relating perhaps to whichever you choose, whether it's an educator, a business owner,
sure.
A mentor even in the beauty industry. What words of advice do you have to offer women wanting to go down a similar path to yours?
I think that if I think to be a mentor, to be a true mentor, it's easy to say the word. You have to go through the stuff.
Yeah,
you have to go through the mud, and actually come out on the other end, and you have to have such a depth of honesty inside of yourself and purity that you keep coming back to. Otherwise, put that down for now until you know that that's there. And throughout my life, there have been times when I've had to put that down because I've come up against something and I thought, hang on a minute, I've got to clean that up before I step into that. I mean, it was a long time ago, but I've had to, because for me, every word that I say, it matters, because someone can take that and it has an impact, or it could have an impact. So it's so easy to think we know everything, and you have to be so honest. If you want to mentor, you have to be so honest, and you have to go in and you have to have a look, and you have to say, you know what, if I've hit this wall and I'm not really, I don't know, I've got something to move through before I can go in and do that again. Purity is the highest priority. And that comes with just honesty, being really honest. So the times where I've just backed off is because I thought, whoa, I've got to clean something up.
Yeah.
And so to be a mentor, it's a big call. And especially, everyone wants to be a mentor. And a lot of the time when we want to mentor, it's because we're mentoring ourselves, and it's beautiful. But we just have to be clean in it, because we are, the world has gone through so much. Women, men, children, we're going through so much. We just want the real stuff now. We really do. So mentoring, I would say, think really long and hard about that. There's so much more goodness you can bring into the world doing what you're really good at. So say if it's business, really look at that and think to yourself, who do I want to be? I'm in the process actually of finishing a branding course, which I've called Branding with Influence. I'm hoping that I have it finished by Christmas, and I'm going to put it out on my website for anyone if they wish to purchase it and take a look at it, because in that it's exactly how to bring in such a level of authenticity into your business and into your brand, and that it is life-changing. So for me, I would say, if as someone that wants to be in business and make a lot of money and have an easy flow with business, that will come from you understanding your values, understanding how to influence, understanding what, all the principles, again, that really do create an amazing, resilient, strong business. Stay away from trends, stay away from quick fixes, stay away from things that are not timeless. Stay on what's timeless. Become extraordinary at one thing, that you're a standout. Because one of the things right now, that the marketplace is really noisy, Kathleen. It's very noisy. So if you're invisible and you want to become visible in the midst of that noise, you have to be able to offer one thing better than anybody else, right? Or at least be a master at something.
Yeah.
And I think that's my advice to the beauty industry right now from the perspective of business. There was another thing that you said, business.
Yeah, really any facets of the beauty industry that can apply to your journey. But I love what you're saying, and I feel like it always comes back to that inner work. And although you did speak a lot about mentoring and things like that, this can really be applied to a beauty therapist working for a business, because you are mentoring your clients.
Absolutely. It's about leadership, isn't it? It's about real leadership. Actually, in this branding course, this whole branding course is about leadership. You know, if you can't lead, right, and the first person to lead is you. You know, that's if you can't lead yourself in a way that is wholesome and real, then that's a place to start. Doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. You know, life is about growth. It's about honesty. It's about looking and seeing what can I do better? What can I improve at? Not, oh, I'm so stupid, I can't do anything, other people are better than me. That is just listening to the wrong voices. You know, that is just you still needing to stay small. And if you need that, you'll keep listening to those voices. And people say, but what do you mean I need it? They just come up and that's what I think. And I said, well, you know what? Thoughts don't come up unless we need them. They're like a kettle. You know, a kettle will boil and boil and boil and boil and boil until you unplug it from you stop it, right? Oh, well, no, it doesn't, does it? Actually turns off by itself. If it's a faulty kettle, it'll just be boiling by. You unplug it. It's like your thoughts. If you unplug the power that you give those thoughts, right, you just say, I don't believe them. But only a heart that is ready for change can do that. Right? Otherwise, if you just focus on your mindset, it's a struggle. You're in struggle. You're constantly having to manage. You don't want to manage thoughts. You want to change your relationship to your thinking. That's really, really important.
Yes.
And then that takes you into everything. Anything that you want to do, you'll be able to do better, you know, which is so amazing, really, isn't it? And it gives you access to inspirational thinking when you can do that, and inspirational abilities. But we can talk about those later.
Yeah. Oh, it's also relevant. And I mean, the other part of that question I did want to touch on, and I'm a huge advocate for what I'm about to say, is essentially I was going to ask you, what advice would you have for other beauty therapists who perhaps want to pursue down the brows essentially, and becoming a master of brows? And I mean, I'm going to quickly chime in and say absolutely invest in your product and your course, because for me, when I went to a TRUBROW masterclass, there was so much to kind of like breaking those false beliefs around brows, and I'm so proud of my brows now because of what you taught me. Yeah, honestly, I thought I knew it all when it came to brows through the time of what I knew at TAFE and all the extra little bits. But then you looked at me and you looked at my brows and you taught me all these little things. And it actually was very confronting. I was like, what are you saying? And I guess what I'm trying to say here is just more of a, what's the word for it? I'm just trying to say you're presenting an amazing course, and perhaps that is a really good pathway for those who are interested in brows. But do you have any words of advice for someone wanting to really expertise and niche down in the brow industry?
I think it was a joy to have you at that masterclass, by the way.
Thank you. It was great.
It was beautiful. I think that I've over the years, we have like probably, I would say not probably, but definitely more before and afters that we've collected from all of our TRUBROW people around the world than, more before and afters than any other company in the world. So we have the evidence that a woman's natural brow can be restored, can be transformed, can be made incredibly soft and beautiful and feminine over 92% of the time. So when I think about brows, we've really this year pulled TRUBROW apart And this will be actually the first place I'll be speaking about this. I haven't spoken about this even to my community. Let's do it anyway. We've really put TRUBROW apart, and what we've decided to do is to make it more available, certain portions of it more available to the industry, but not only to people that are in the beauty industry. I've had, as in fully qualified beauty therapists, I've had the most amazing makeup artists. I've had the most amazing women that have changed their careers, and I've taken them from right at the beginning. You see, brows is not really, I don't believe brows is like a beauty therapy specialty. I just don't believe that, because I think that, now you've got Certificate 3, you've got all these, short courses and things, and I think that some of the most incredible people that step in, when they come to us, we absolutely train them. We don't give them these tiny little tinting and waxing courses. Like, we go in and we really work with them. But what I guess what I'm saying with brows, it's a specialty skill when you come to TRUBROW. It isn't just doing a nice brow. It's kind of like a course which gives you a lead generation service that will, even if you are invisible in this marketplace, become very visible. You could be a tiny home salon and be the expert in brows in your location, and be taking brows from some of the huge salons that, like, taking clients from them, and they just don't know what's going on. And you've got a waiting list. So it's TRUBROW gives every single beauty professional that wants to build a fabulous business, and we can talk about employees and so on, because there'll be programs for them as well next year, the opportunity to stand out and go from invisible to visible expert, no matter if how big their business is or how small. And for me, the greatest success stories that I have and that I love, I shouldn't say this, I'm being a bit more, but the biggest success stories, the ones that I love the most, are the ones with these young girls or women just come, and all of a sudden just boom, they've just got, waiting lists with 50 people, or they're really working towards becoming exceptional, and I see them doing amazing things, with brows. Brows change the way a woman looks, change the way she feels. They're such a powerful part of our face. And I warn people to stay away. If you want to build a strong, resilient business, stay away from trends. Keep saying it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stay away from big fixes. Stay away from trends. Stay away from those things that are trying to plug a leaky bucket when the real knowledge is right there. So now I'm updating, Kathleen, our online course, and I've split it into two. I'm working on it right now, and every day when I work on it, I'm so excited. So anyone can jump in and just buy it and get a complete upgrade. But I'm updating it because my training has developed so much. As I develop, so the way I communicate it develops, and it's just so fast to learn it now. It's kind of like, whoa, now I can see. It's like bam, bam, bam. It's just like so fantastic, So if people want to come in and they want to do just design, they can do that on the online course. That's what they'll be able to do. If they want restoration and transformation, they can do that. They can become specialists. They can use brows as that lead generation service that draws people away, from their competition into their salons and grow their businesses very fast. Really, really fast, with no advertising. And next year, this is the bit that I haven't really told anyone. Next year, I'm going to get in trouble.
Oh, you heard it here first.
I always get in trouble. We're going to be offering all of our TRUBROW salon owners an opportunity to be mentored and have access to Toby and myself from a business perspective, not just a live online class feedback perspective, for a very affordable price, like crazy price, because we're crazy. We are. And they will have access so that we can literally help them put TRUBROW into their business, and for TRUBROW to work for their business, not for it to work for TRUBROW. It's the other way around. If their businesses are working, that's what makes us so happy. So TRUBROW will be fitting in, like, say for a salon comes to us and they say, you know what, well, I don't know if I can do it like that, I want to do it like this. Great, let's make that work. So let's give women more beautiful natural brows. Let's get more salons out there dedicated and committed to a woman's natural brow. Let's stop the natural brow being destroyed, damaged, and giving people like short-term fads and fixes when the real knowledge is there, right? So we're going to be doing that for anyone that joins TRUBROW will have the opportunity to have us as their mentors, their business strategists. So I'm very, very, very excited about that for a very, really affordable, like, it's part of being part of our community. It's our students' success is everything to us. It really, really is. So so that's what we're doing, and a lot more, but I won't spend too much time talking about that here.
Yeah, and that's really, really exciting. Before we kind of move on to the next bit, I just wanted to acknowledge this for the audience and just say that you can absolutely learn a skill and bring that into your business, but it's really what you're offering with the mentoring and business kind of I want to use the right word for it, just the help that you're offering. That's what takes you to the next level. You need to be seen, and it's more than just the skills. It's about how you put yourself out into the world. So I love that.
I agree. You know how many beauty therapists I've seen working their butts off, doing nice work and getting paid so little. Like, it's almost like they've got a hobby rather than a business, and they're flogging themselves. They're working so hard, they're exhausted, they're drained, and it's kind of like, come on. We do have our business academy, which people, and our mentoring academy, which people can come into. That's fine, and it's actually been shut down because we were full this year and we didn't want to take on any more people. But the doors are open, so people can go to the website, to my website, go to the Business Academy and say that they're interested and in knowing more. And 2020, we're opening up the doors again. But, to be really honest with you, you've got to have people around you that really care about you, and the longevity of your business, the resilience of your business. What's the intention of the people that you're listening to? What's the intention behind that? It's so important. And how much do they care about you? I don't know. It sounds like a funny thing, doesn't it? But really, where's the sincerity and the authenticity and really caring? There is nothing that I've done since the day I stepped into my salon at 21, honestly, Kathleen, that hasn't had love in it for the other person. Because you can't extend that if you're not giving it one to yourself. But there has to be that sincerity and that authenticity, and it's just so important, so important.
Yes. Oh, Elle, everyone's going to be asking themselves all these questions after this. You bring a lot of thought-provoking points up, and I just want to let you know I'm very aware of the time, and I don't want to hold you any longer, but if you have a little bit of time just to answer this one question, would that be okay, Elle?
I've got time. I've actually cleared my schedule for you.
Oh, thank you. That's so amazing.
Take as much time as you want.
Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, I do have three last questions, but I want to focus on these two because I think they'll be really powerful for the beauty therapist. And please let me know when your time is up. But first of all, the last one we'll talk about after, but the first one, I want to know, do you have any predictions for the beauty industry and how it might look in the next 10 to 20 years? And it might just seem like a bit of a question to kind of think on, but I think this is really powerful for us as beauty therapists and business owners to really think about, because the world is changing and there's just so much out there. So share your wisdom. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
You have to. It's a good question. I've watched the beauty industry change over the last 34 years. It's never stopped changing, and it won't. And that's why I really believe that people that in a world that has gone a little mad, with the whole social media vortex of, all this inauthenticity. Is that a word? Did I just make it up? It sounds good.
Makes sense. Yeah.
People that are just not authentic.
Yeah.
And women there's women out there that want what's real. And you can't, you find one skill to master and niche it right down. Like I even say to my students, my TRUBROW girls, niche TRUBROW down. Watch what the universe, and when I say the universe, I don't even want to say that because it's not the universe, it's you. Watch what you're drawing to yourself. You are the power. It's you. It's you. Don't stop saying the universe. Elle, stop saying the universe. What are you unfolding for yourself? If you're getting all these restorations, right? Like, for example, if you're a student of ours, you're getting all these restorations. Have a look at that and think, wow, isn't this amazing? Not, I wish I didn't have them. I wish I had more, younger people. Look at what you're drawing. Why are you drawing that to yourself? Is that a niche? Is that something that somehow you're connecting with these women like nobody else can in the location, and they're coming to you because they need you and your essence and your care and your empathy and your love so that you can take them from where they are to where they want to be. It's kind of like do one thing and niche it, even with skin. Niche skin all the way down. Yeah. Find your story. People want to connect with you because you've been through it, you've done it, and it's real. Find your story. What is your story? Did you have problem skin when you were a teenager? And your story is that you were when you felt that you had no self-worth and you wanted to help women, feel, not have to go through that. And is that your niche? If it's lashes, what niche are you in lashes? Go deeper. Don't stay superficial. The marketplace is too noisy. It's getting noisier. Everyone's opening businesses. People are being trained. We're so unregulated, which is almost criminal, to say the least. And, it's so unregulated. And so for me, that's why my education is so pristine, because if someone comes to me, I know because it's unregulated and they're looking to enter the industry, like I said before, they're going to go somewhere else. It's better they come to me so I can really train them so that, you know what I mean? Like I've had to start thinking like that because I didn't train people who were beauty therapists or makeup artists or in the beauty industry in the beginning. And then I just had all these people going and doing 3-hour brow courses and going and working on people's faces. I had to rethink it. I had to rethink and go, what am I going to do about this? As a beauty therapist, that's what you have to do, a salon owner. Go in and niche deep, and if you love skin, is it mature skin? If you're in your 50s, if you're in your 40s and you want to do premenopausal stuff, if it's, mothers, how for mothers to come in and after they've had babies, how do they bring their skin back? I mean, find a niche. It doesn't mean you're excluding other people, but when you become an expert in one niche, one skill, right, whatever it is, it could be restoration of brows. It could be, I don't know, anything. Whatever it is that your heart's in and that you feel so passionate about. And for me, you can tell, and for the people that come to us, it's obviously saving the natural brow and putting an end to the misery of all these fads and crazy things that have been going on with the brow for decades and decades and decades. So that's what I would say. Really niche down, find that skill, that one thing that you become a master at. It's not a product. The product's not yours.
That's right.
It's not yours. That company could do anything. You can't build an entire business on a product.
That's right.
Build it on you. You're your brand. You're your business. You want to become the expert in that one thing and have that clear voice. So it just comes out and people hear it and they go, "Oh, I've got to listen to her."
That's
in a noisy marketplace.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, definitely. And I guess I wanted to just extract a little bit from that because that is such good advice. Absolutely. And I think we can all take that on board as beauty therapists. But I guess my thoughts around this, are you kind of thinking that as the beauty industry grows over the next 10 to 20 years, consumers are looking for that, they're looking more for that story, that deeper connection with beauty professionals? Is that where you're kind of going with that?
Well, I think what I'm saying is that, they've got so much choice, right? And we're only talking about quality clients here, right? Because there's always going to be people that are just going to be doing, I don't do mediocre things. That's a statement, right? I don't, not on any, if there's something that I do mediocre, I don't go near it.
Yes.
Right? I don't touch it. I certainly don't pretend like I can teach it, right? So I don't do anything mediocre. And I think that that's a really great value to have in your life. So I think that what women are going to be looking for is they have choice now. They have so much choice. So they're going to be able to look for the experts. Your voice has to stand out.
Yes.
Amongst all the noise. It's getting noisier and noisier and noisier. Everyone, even Priceline, people at Priceline are saying that, they've got their beauty experts in there. Come on. Like, your voice has to stand out. You have to learn how to become a leader. You have to have people to help you, teach you how to become a leader, so that your voice does count and that you do it the right way, because there's only one right way to do it. There isn't two or three. You can't fake it, right? There's only one way. So I guess what I'm saying is that I really do believe that there's another thing too, actually, Kathleen. I think the industry is going to become a lot more, there's a program I was going to run, and I'm now stepping back and considering whether I'm going to do it or not. It's called the Repositioning Model, and it was something I created or developed, really came to me inspirationally, as these things do, a year ago. And I believe it is the way of the future for the industry, because it removes so many pain points. And I believe that the industry is going to become, the beauty industry is going to become very automated. It's not going to be the way that it is now. Technology is going to take even a small standard salon and it's going to take it into that. And I'm still, I should actually talk to you about that off camera, and we should have a chat, and let me tell you what, because I'm thinking of doing like a little sort of like a small group of women and taking them through salon owners and taking them through it. But I really do believe that it is going to, it's going to move in a very different way. Sadly, at the moment, so many people discount, but, quality clients, you train your clients to wait for your discounts if you do that. Even someone that's a quality client that absolutely wants to pay you full price, you will train them if you discount. So you've got to understand the difference in discounting and value, all of those things. They're principles that every salon owner now has to understand.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, wow. Thank you for all of that. And we just have to be more, this is what I'm hearing from you. We have to, think about the story that we're telling and just give something so unique and heartfelt to our clients and be the leader. Gosh, there's so many good points to bring from that, Elle. And I'm really excited to see how your courses go and all just the amount of value that you're giving to beauty therapists. It's incredible.
Can I just add, Kathleen, to that too? I think that business can be easy. It sounds like, I've got so much to learn. I've got so much. But, when you hone in on one skill that you are the master at and that you're excellent at, it removes all your other pain points. Like, this is the offering, at TRUBROW, that, you don't have to advertise. Forget about Facebook ads. Forget about what Instagram's algorithms and what they're doing. Organically, you can grow. It's almost like unbelievable. We did this at Selling Growth on the round table. It's like actually having a business that you never, ever, ever have to look for clients, ever. Like, I've got, actually, it's my daughter in Canada. She's got 50 women on her waiting list. She's a home salon right now. She does is TRUBROW, and she sells extra little things here and there, increases her retail of things that she loves. She's building this amazing brand. You can go and have a look at her, thenaturalbrow.yg. She just won. And she did that in really about a year. Phenomenal.
It is. It's huge.
And never 1 cent did she pay, has she put towards advertising of any kind. So there is a right way to do it, and then there's the hard way, learning how to do Facebook ads, learning how to, change. Facebook's changing. What do I do now? Discounting and feeling like you're giving away your time and your energy and your loveliness for less money. Why? You know, this is a giving industry. We have to learn how to receive. We have to just think for ourselves and go, hang on just one sec. Could I do this really easily when clients are coming to me and I can't even fit them in? You know, what do I have to do for that? What's Elle telling me to do? That's a one thing I want you to think about. This is for everyone. What is that one thing? And make it happen. Make it happen and find out what the strategy is. There's a real strategy to that. I don't think beauty business has to be hard. You have to be wise, not smart, but wise, and surround yourself with people that are doing it for other people all the time. You know, and I know that sort of sounds like I'm saying me, and I am. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you just simplify your life and go, you know what? I think she knows what you're talking about. It's kind of funny, isn't it? But, you know, I'm being transparent, but I'm saying that's what we do all the time. Like, why suffer? You know, and look, there are people with us that don't, they just don't follow, and and they don't get there. But the ones that do that recipe, bam, 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 they're just on it. It happens for them every single time. You know, it's amazing.
Yes, there's so many good points. And I mean, I just wanted to add there, like with that whole discounting thing, do you see doctors and dentists discounting? You don't. They stand by their prices and they charge. It's not even a question to discount. And I think that's such a good point to bring up. And we can do things the hard way or in the way that you're saying. And it's, I think it's really beautiful.
It's isn't it? The doctors and the sorry, you were going to read a comment?
I was. Yes, you read my mind. You are a little bit psychic. We just had a
little bit. It's true, but don't tell
me. We have someone who's commented, and I do apologize for not saying your name. Where we are on the feed, it just says Facebook user, but they have said totally agree about advertising. If you're very good, you don't need it. You even don't have time for advertisements. Spending the time on writing them and getting the words right. That's a really good point. Yeah, wow, a lot to learn. And I mean, I feel like my last question for you, Elle, I feel like you've been answering it the whole time, and it's just so beautiful. And it really is. If you could go back in time and give your younger self one piece of life advice, what would it be? Gosh, there's so many things, but
I know that I should know the answer to this question. I should have thought about it, right? Because it's a good question. But, you know, sometimes it's more real to just sort of, I don't know, not come up with some kind of an answer, even pre-interview kind of thing.
It just comes out.
I think that what could I say to the young Elle? Well, first of all, I want to give her a big hug, and I do quite often.
Yeah.
And I often tell her that I'm here to take care of her, because she pops up every now and again still. You know, she comes up every time there's fear or there's, you know, a trigger, that I'm triggered in some way. And there's no one, you know, there's probably like one or two people, well, let's just say a handful of people on this planet that don't get triggered, right? And I know some of them very, very well. I have to tell you, most people on this planet are triggered. And I've learned when she's triggered, if I catch it early enough, to just give her a really big hug and tell her that I've got it. I got you. You know, I have you. And that the mature part of me that has access to that higher intelligence, the wisdom inside of me, the part of me that has access to the deeper parts of myself, like the parts of me that are not superficial and just from up here. You know, we all have that. That's part of it. There are natural powers. We have access to these powers, Kathleen. They're not superpowers. They're just our natural abilities. And yet it's almost like, imagine spending 100 years on this planet and never accessing truly consciously those natural abilities and powers. Now that's a life that I don't ever want to see anybody live. So I guess the advice that I would have for the young Elle, apart from hugging her a lot, is that she's a really good person, that she has to believe that deeply, that she comes from an essence of purity and goodness, and that if any thought comes up that tells her other than that, that she shouldn't listen.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It's beautiful.
And, you know, like if I look back at my life and if I'd done that, I probably would be in the same space that I'm in right now. But, you know, we are growing, you know, we are evolving, and energetically and on so many levels. And in fact, maybe things would have been different, you know, but it's not to say that there's regrets, because to regret something is, it doesn't make sense, right? Anything that you need to change or is happening right now in this moment, it's not like the past is even there. I mean, I don't know. Can you go back and find it? I can't find it. If I look back, you know, it's whatever's coming up in my mind now. I have a new opportunity, and what it gives me the opportunity to do is to bring a loving kindness into what in my mind appears to be the past, and bring it in now. So that's what the hugs are about, and and really, she settles down like that. You know, one of the things that I'd like to say, if you don't mind,
please,
some time. You know, one of the things this year that became really real to me, and I really came to see, is that we have a part inside of ourselves that really is quite wild. Women have this wild energy, don't we? Like we've got the feminine that is pure and just, but we have also the distorted side of our feminine nature.
Wow.
We do, and it's kind of really interesting how she a lot of the time she terrifies us. We either use her, feel bad about it, or she terrifies us. It's like, oh, don't bring her out. I don't want her to come out. Let's just like suppress it. But you know, that part of us is such a beautiful part, because she's there to tell us, don't fall asleep, wake up to who you are. And then I can just stop, and I don't have to give you a hard time all the time. So it's kind of like acknowledging all aspects of ourselves and what their role is in our world. And it's really amazing, you know. And I had a year where I actually really had to face her. I had to literally come face to face with this, you know, unbelievable power and wildness. And I had to really just come face to face and just ask her, what did she want to tell me, you know? And it was like, wake up, don't fall asleep. And, you know, you are beautiful. You are just, you know, you're pure, you're good. And I think that women need to be giving themselves this message. We need to believe it more than anything else, because it is the truth. So, you know, our essence, our purity, our beauty, it's our worthiness. And we believe that more and more the more we extend it. So it's through demonstration and extension. I couldn't give a business owner, an entrepreneur, better advice than, you know, honestly, do not believe anything that is telling you something other than that. If it comes up, just like the kettle, just unplug it, take your power back and shift your compass, focus on something that you know about yourself that is real and true, like a goodness or something that makes you happy. Just focus on that, you know. I think that's really important. You know, recently someone said, I want business advice. I mean, I certainly give a lot of business advice. Not today. I knew we wouldn't today with you, Kathleen. That was for sure. I don't need personal development. Any entrepreneur that says that is out of his mind. Every successful entrepreneur that I know, and I know so many of them internationally, they learn, they develop, they evolve. Their focus is on developing themselves. And that's how they grow incredible businesses. To say that is kind of like, you know, I actually had one person say, oh, love, you know, love doesn't build businesses. It's like, boy, you got it all wrong, right? Like, there is nothing that a successful entrepreneur will not do when they know what real success is, to expand and undo and And I'm not talking about entrepreneurs that are driven and die of heart attacks, when they go for a run because they don't know how to take care of themselves, all the rest. I'm talking about entrepreneurs that are really happy, they're fulfilled, their life is working.
There's a difference, yeah.
Huge difference. And it can work. We don't have to drain ourselves. We don't have to do that.
No.
So it's irrelevant. I just threw that in because I just thought that might be helpful to somebody. You never know.
It is. Oh, it touched my heart listening to what you said, particularly at the start. And I have a little tear that's trying to fall down. You always do this to me.
It's all the time too. It's fine. That's just your heart opening. I love it. It's beautiful.
That's right. It's sitting there. But I think we all do need to hear that. It means so much more than these really specific things. Yeah, we just have to come back to and realize how worthy we are. I love what you said. So beautiful, Elle. I knew we were going to get deep today.
Oh, I know. It happens all the time with you and me. What is it that actually normally it happens all the time, I should say. But, I don't even know that it's deep. It's so funny, isn't it? Isn't it funny how we say it's deep when it's actually real? It actually, there's the superficial up here that is just like, and then there's just what's real. And I don't know that it's even deep. I think it's coming more and more in our faces, really, now for the feminine, especially. And I think it's kind of not going to be so deep anymore. It's actually going to just be like you're either polarized and you're off, or you're really sitting in your power and when we're sitting in our power is very clean. It's very beautiful. It can do anything, and I don't want to say that it can do anything. We
have our limits.
It's not like, you can have anything you want. It's kind of like, well, where would you put it? Can you really have anything you want? Like, when people say that, it drives me a little crazy. What can I say? We don't want everything. We don't need everything on the outside. We need everything on the inside, right? We need all of that we can have, that's for sure. And then we know what really we need on the outside.
Oh, I'm going to have to end it here on this beautiful high note, Elle. And before we say goodbye to everybody, I'd love to hear from you, Elle. What would you like to share with the beauty therapists listening? Tell us about your recent offers, perhaps how they can find the book, TRUBROW, whatever you would like to bring up the beauty therapist.
I think that Kathleen, I would love for girls that really want like a really soulful business, like a meaningful business, like if they want to have someone help them grow their business. Because of course our business academy is with myself and with Toby, so you have the best of both worlds. The inspirational out of the box thinking. I love bringing that to the lives of beauty professionals and their businesses. It's just fantastic. But I think that the tools, the business tools, if you feel like you really, really need that, like 2020, it's the year for you, and I mean that really, that it can be the year for you. Then you're always welcome to go to ellwilson.com.au and go to the Business Academy and put in your interest. If TRUBROW is what's interesting to you, you could buy the online course right now and I will upgrade you immediately without any extra cost to go straight into the upgrade, which is unbelievable, full of videos, full of just, it really is redeveloped, so many redeveloped techniques, things that I've never ever taught before at all that are coming out now. So it's it's really fantastic. So I think that if people want to be stockers of the TRUBROW collection, we've got some new products coming out next year, whatever, the book is on the website. For me, I know that I'm constantly unfolding and I want to totally be extending to this beautiful beauty industry here in Australia. I'm only interested in people that want to be exceptional. I'm not going to be teaching you mediocre anything. If people always say to me, Kathleen, I want to be the best. They call me this, I want to be the best, and I know immediately that they're my people. And so that's it really. I don't know. I think we've spoken really about everything. People know when they're in or out or what they want to do, and like I said before, it's not about making time for what's next. It's about making a decision. I think that's a really powerful statement. I put that on my Instagram actually recently, and I really loved it. I thought, wow, that impacted me so much. But it's true, isn't it? It's just about making that decision and trusting yourself enough that you're going to get the job done. Yeah.
That's beautiful. We'll pop everything in the comments below for everybody to access. And I guess I just wanted to, before we go, you mentioned Toby a couple of times. And for those of you who don't know, Toby's incredible. If you would love to acknowledge him in any way, he is just this other half of everything that's going on.
He loves you. He loves you. Aww. Toby loves Kathleen, everybody. He just,
love Toby.
He really, really does. It's just so beautiful. He is amazing, you know, and he's my husband, and we've been together for 13 years. And he's a really quite a special person. I have to say, he has a huge heart and highly intelligent, fabulous with business, quite incredible. Actually, I added him to your group because there was a question I wanted him to answer. So when you add him, you know, I want him to go in and answer that question in his way too, because I thought he might be able to add some value to Coco, I think it was.
Yes.
He's amazing. I mean, none of this would have happened without him. You know, none of the online, none of the, and it hasn't been easy working with your husband. That's a fact.
It's something different for sure.
Yeah, it's you know, people go, look at the two, you know, and we love each other. We're madly in love with each other. I always tell them, don't tell me you love me. You have to tell me you're in love with me. He laughs at me all the time. Anyway.
Yes.
But we're like together. Like we just keep getting closer and closer, and we have our difficulties, but at the end of the day, you know, we have to come back to what's honest and true, and we always get back there, always, because we're just so committed to what's honest. And sometimes I want to be right, sometimes he wants to be right, and it doesn't work, and then we have to drop that, and there we are again. You know, it's just life. But he's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and maybe you should interview him one day. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Oh, you too. You'd probably have so much fun.
You both have so many good things to offer, and you create a beautiful team, and that would just be amazing. And I'd love to pick his brain as well and hear his journey.
He would just give you so much. I mean, you'd be transcribing that and actually going, right, I'm implementing this in my business, and I'm implementing you know. And the reason I think I say to everyone that, you know, everything's not always perfect is it's really important that we don't put this like perfection picture in our minds with other human beings, that we don't feel like, if something makes you feel unworthy, it's because you're comparing yourself somehow. Everyone has their little challenges and things they need to get through in life. So, you know, as good as things look, everyone's always going through something. So give yourselves a break. That's what I say. Give yourselves a big hug. That's what
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Give it a big hug. Big hug. It's beautiful.
It is. Oh, Elle, thank you so much for being here. Again, everything will be in the description if this is on YouTube, or in the comments below. All of it will be there. I've had such an amazing time, Elle. If you'd like to say goodbye.
Yes, I would like to say goodbye, and thank you to everyone. And thank you to you for being such a beautiful mentor. And I have to say, I really do see you as that for so many girls, because your heart is in the right place. You are adorable. You are true. And that's just that, really. So thank you for having me on and choosing me to come and have a chat. It's awesome.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye now.